Ciao, homie! So all the analysis being said, event by event, let's have a look at where everyone ended up placing at the 2021 Magnus Magnusson Strongman Classic. We start off with Dari Torison, so he finished with 11 points in 14th place, and of course, that breaks down into 10 points for the Stone Press, 1 point for the Super Yoke Farmers Medley, and then he withdrew after that. So a few other notes I should add here is everyone received a trophy, which, you know, you can look at either way. Like one way is like, is this T-ball? Like everybody gets a trophy. Or the other way, which I prefer to look at it as, is like these guys were out in the snow and the elements and all really worked hard. So they probably deserve some kind of keepsake. And of course, the winner ends up with a larger trophy. But the other cool thing about the trophy is it's a man pressing a stone. So it's a unique trophy that I think is very fitting for the type of competition it was. And then Thor said that when asked, will you compete next year? He's like, yeah, if you make it a little harder. So that was pretty funny. And then, you know, as we move on up the list, we have Lorda, who finishes in 13th place with 13.5 points. So he had a no lift on the stone. And I'm going to give you a recap of what you would have seen already in my other videos. He had 2 points on the Super Yoke Farmers Medley. He had 3 points on the log press medley. He zeroed on stone to shoulder. He had 8.5 points on Axel Deadlift. And then he's zeroed on the Husafel. Then we have Stan Carradine in 12th place with 20 points. Stan had 5 points on the stone press. He had 6 points on the Super Yoke Farmers medley. He had 9 points on the log press medley. He had 0 on stone to shoulder. And then he withdrew after that, unfortunately, getting injured in that stone to shoulder event. So he did not get to participate in the Axel Deadlift or the Husafel carry, unfortunately. So wishing the best for Stan Carradine, hope that his injury is not too bad. For those of you always tuning in to see my detailed analysis and my spreadsheets and love what you're watching and want access to them yourselves, I do offer that now as part of my YouTube channel membership level 2. So you can go over to my YouTube channel, click the join button as you see here, and then I have 3 different levels. So level 1 gets you all kinds of customized badges, and then you get custom emojis to use on live streams. You get member shoutouts every month. That's members only community posts, a whole bunch of different behind the scenes stuff and all, just in level 1. At an extremely reasonable price. Level 2 gets you access to all my Strongman analytics spreadsheets, everything I ever create or ever will create. I add links to that in the membership community for that. And then you can be a live guest on my show as well. Just wanted to let you know that memberships are available at extremely reasonable prices, and you can help support the channel that way as well. Now on to today's content. 11th place goes to Theodor Gudmundsson, the giant 6'10" competitor. And so he ends up with 24 points. He has 5 points on the stone press, 4 points on the Super Yoke Farmers medley, 2 points on the log press medley, 4 points on stone to shoulder. He zeroes the deadlift, unfortunately, and finishes strong with 9 points on the Husafel carry. 10th place goes to Kimmo Lorentzen, and he ends up with 33 total points, a no lift on the stone press, 5 points on the Super Yoke Farmers medley, 8 points on the log press medley, 7 points on the stone to shoulder medley, 13 points on the Axel Deadlift, so a great performance there. And he ends up zeroing the Husafel, unfortunately, for Kim. 9th place goes to Dennis Kolroos, who ended up withdrawing, unfortunately, as well. 5 points on the stone press for him, 7 points on the Super Yoke Farmers medley for Dennis. Log press, he had 11 points, so a great showing there. Stone to shoulder, another great showing, 11 points there. And then withdrew before the Axel Deadlift, unfortunately. So Dennis was actually doing very well up until that point. 8th place goes to Pierre Motal. So he ends up with 41.5 total points. That was comprised of 5 points on the stone press, 10 points on the Super Yoke Farmers medley, 5 points on the log press medley, 5 points on stone to shoulder, 10.5 points on Axel Deadlift, and 6 points on the Husafel carry for Pierre Motal. So he was really an interesting and exciting guy to watch, really gave a great effort. 7th place goes to my buddy Sigfus Fostal, who really made a charge back. I think he was actually in 10th going into the Husafel, so really moved up quite a few places there. 45 total points for Sigfus. He had 10 points on the stone press, 8 points on the Super Yoke Farmers, 4 points on the log press medley, 9 points on stone to shoulder, zeroed the deadlift and made a joke afterward that he didn't show up for the deadlift so he could save his energy for the Husafell, and wins the Husafell, 14 points for Sigfus Fostal. And again, you should watch it just to see the professionalism and the standard way that he approaches a certain movement the same every time to reduce risk and increase efficiency. It was quite a sight to behold. Sixth place goes to Erwin Teutz, who we've seen in World's Strongest Man before. He comes away with 51.5 points. He had 10 points on the stone press, 12 points on the super yoke farmers medley, 7 points on the log press medley, 6 points on stone to shoulder, 8.5 points on Axel deadlift, and 8 points on the Husafell carry for Erwin Teutz. Fifth place went to Ryan England, who was really great in a variety of different events here. 56 total points for Ryan. He comes away with 13 points in second place in the stone press. Not so great in the super yoke farmers, 3 points there. 13 points, second place on the log press medley for Ryan. Stone to shoulder, he comes away with 8 points there. Axel deadlift, third place, which would be 12 points. And Husafell carry, 7 points for Ryan England. And of course, by that point, some folks probably had withdrawn, which make the points a little bit different. But Ryan really putting out a great performance. It was a pleasure to watch him compete. Fourth place went to Christian Jon Haroldson, who had a shoulder injury at one point and still ends up in fourth place. 58.5 points for Christian. He had 10 points in the stone press, 11 points in the super yoke farmers medley, 6 points in the log press medley, 14 points winning the stone to shoulder medley, which he said he wanted to win one event and he hit his goal. And Axel deadlift, 6.5 points there, and 11 points on the Husafell carry for Christian. So a great performance by him. And that leaves us with our podium finishers. So in third place, we have Sammy Ahola, who ends up with 60.5 points. 10 points on the stone press for Sammy. Wins the super yoke farmers with 14 points there. And those farmers were hard for a lot of guys, but not Sammy. Log press gets 10 points there. Then we have the stone to shoulder, 10 points again for Sammy Ahola. The Axel deadlift, 6.5 points there. And then on the Husafell, Sammy with 10 points again. So very, very consistent. Won one event and really consistent in all of the others to really put himself in a good position to make the podium here. Sammy Ahola comes away in third place at the Magnus Magnusson Strongman Classic. So that leaves us with first and second place. Second place went to Thor Engelson Melstead, who I thought might have been the favorite going into this competition. I thought would win it. He came close, but not quite. He had a tough fight against another competitor who we'll see in a moment. 69.5 total points for Thor. He won the stone press with 14 points, 9 points on the super yoke farmers, 12 points on the log press medley, 12 points on the stone to shoulder medley. Axel deadlift was 10.5 points for Thor, and Husafell carried 12 points there. So he was like top 2 or 3 in a lot of events here and actually won one of them. So Thor with an incredible performance. But then that leaves us with the winner of the Magnus Magnusson Strongman Classic 2021, and he is Maxine Boudreau of Canada. So Maxime comes away with 72 total points. He had 5 points in the stone press, so some distance to make up there, and boy did he. Super yoke farmers comes away with 13 points, even with all the controversy, still comes in second there. On the log press medley, he wins that one with 14 points. Stone to shoulder, 13 points for second place there. Axel deadlift, the shock of all shockers. Everybody thought Maxime wasn't great at deadlift. He wins the deadlift for the second event he won there. And then on the Husafell carry, he comes in second place for 13. So he had 2 wins and 2 second places, I believe. Strong finish after that 5-point first event. But Maxime saying after he knew how far he had to go on the Husafell to beat out Thor, and that he did. But he had to put out a Herculean effort to get that Husafell that far. If you haven't watched it yet, go to the Rogue Fitness YouTube channel and watch it. It's well worth it. So congratulations to our podium finishers and our winner, Maxine Boudreau, for the Magnus Magnusson Strongman Classic 2021. I hope you've enjoyed all of these results and detailed analysis. And of course, until next time, as always, ciao, homie.